I don't know what we're talking about, but you,
AI product management. Oh, that's what's taking product manager jobs, man. John, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that you're going to need to be more of a hands-on person and less of a planner. And you're going to need to know how to do basic, I don't know, prompting and basic building of, I don't know, basic web portals or a basic data portal or something like that. And they're gonna expect you to, instead of using Miro and Figma to mock something up, they're gonna expect you to build like an actual really, really, really basic low fidelity working portal of some sort through like Lovable or some type of no code platform. And they're going to want to play with it. That's what like the business people, the stakeholders, that's what they're going to be expecting because yeah, honestly it's really easy to do it, and you just need to know how to do it. If you know how to do it, you can do it in like literally three prompts. You could have like a working portal or a working website or a working landing page, something that gets your idea across. And that's a big part of a product manager is selling people on ideas, on taking action on something. And if you could like make something sort of working, even if it's the buttons don't work, but at least some pages work and they can see it and they can feel it and whatever, that sells way more than, mock-ups in any one of those mock-up tools like Figma, FigJam, Miro, whatever. So they're gonna expect that. That's my 2 cents.
Paula?
But
no, I agree with that. There's two things I want to say about that. So I went to AI hackathon on this, like specifically on this lovable and stuff. And it's insane how I've only been to two hackathons, one 10 years ago and one now. Insane how different it is because of AI and because of Lovable. Like I didn't even do the design, I didn't even code, I didn't even do anything until the second, until really the last day, and we won. So that's how different it is than before. Whereas before, it's whoever knows how to code will kind of dictate how everything's gonna work. So the power dynamics change from that perspective. And then the second part was I agree with you, like even with products, and I'm doing this fractional product management, and it's not just for tech businesses. I'm working with non-tech businesses, and these code, like these no code sort of and kind of scrape. So you can build a scraper to kind of help your create a framework to kind of help a lot of non-tech businesses in terms of like figuring out their competitive advantage. And they just build like a scraper based off like these AI like prompts and kind of just follow their rules. And then now that's allowed me to kind of get my foot in the door in a lot more client potential leads and clients because I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this for you complimentary because it's easy. It's like a lot faster. And it kind of gets you to that door faster and gives you you give that complimentary project to them and they're like, oh, I really like that. Let's open more conversations with you. So
Why do you guys think product managers overthink everything? I think it's like the like I feel like I'm hosting like a philosophy class every single time I'm talking to product managers, and like I'm guilty of overthinking too. I think everybody has various degrees of overthinking, but like the amount of overthinking the general product manager population has is like disgusting to me. Why do you think that is?
That's a that's a big part of their job too. That's how their job was. I think the AI product manager job is totally different, but how product managers have been over the last 10, 20 years is they've been gatekeepers over letting engineers run rampant and just build random stuff or run rampant on like over designing or I don't know, making the back end too perfect, for example. They would just put the brakes on that. So in that sense, it worked really well because someone needs to tell the engineers to stop overthinking. And they did the overthinking. They overthought everything, which made the engineers like, stop and focus on other things instead of doing the non-value creation. And then the business side as well, like a lot of the business people just don't know what the hell it is that they want. Um, and that's how it's been for
Money.
a long time.
We just want money, John. Why is it
We
so
just
difficult for you guys to just put stacks of cash in a duffel bag and just Uber it over to my place in Connecticut? All right.
exactly. But there's a lot of people that have a lot of business people that just like, oh yeah, just let's do an app. Like, well, what's the app going to be about? Like that's the product manager's job was to, ask a ton like the why 5 different times, and then from there you will get that. But now with AI, the business people can now use Lovable. They can now build this stuff themselves. So why do they need an AI? Why do they need a product manager if they can do it themselves? So that's why the whole job is completely changed.
What's lovable for the people that don't know?
It's a no-code tool. There's a few of them out there. Replit is like probably the easiest one. You can basically go, it's like ChatGPT, but creates a website for you. It can create a website or any type of like functional app. It can create like a calendar app. It can create like a payment page. It can create like, I don't know, like a dashboard, like a data dashboard if you want. So it can create really basic apps. And Lovable is like the a little bit more technical because with Lovable you can connect it to different other services, and then you can take your project off Lovable and you can put it into GitHub, and then you can build it into an even bigger app if you want. So Lovable is a good gateway into, if you actually want to build an app and make it a good app, you would start with Lovable. But if you don't want to do any of that, then Replit is just like the real basic no code. We'll get the job done. You won't be able to get the project off of Replit, but it stays in Replit, and it's good.
Got it. Got it. Lovable. And then there's the other one's called what? Replit?
There's a bunch. So Lovable, Replit, Bolt, and there's a fourth one that they're all like websites. They exist within a web browser. They're web apps. You interface with them like ChatGPT. You give it a prompt and it will build something for you. And then there's the other ones like Cursor and Windsurf. Cursor and Windsurf are their applications that sit on a program, and they're kind of like an IDE, which is like a code program. So it's like a traditional coding program that you would use to build any type of application. But it has like AI built into it. So you can prompt, and the prompt will read your entire code base and then build parts of your code base or do stuff to your code base, basically. So it's much more technical.
Got it. Yo, that's freaking insane, man. Cursive? That one I've actually seen before.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're all like going from like a few $1 million to $100 million to, I think they're almost all valued at $1 billion now, just within a few years.
what happens? What do you think happens if like people don't pick this stuff up?
Paolo, what do you think?
I was actually going to ask before we go this. I had another question for you, John, but um, in terms of not knowing, like product managers don't pick this up, they're going to be left way behind, and probably not as fast as I thought it would be, because I think a lot of companies are still pretty backward when it comes to this, but faster in terms of once a lot of the businesses figure out that they could easily just create their own AI products and easily prototype, and their um, product managers aren't doing anything to help them, anything to kind of learn how to prototype themselves and reduce the labor from the engineers, or like increase a way to kind of make that resource, like be more resourceful with using that AI tool. They're going to be deemed as probably irrelevant sometime soon, especially if they're not what I would consider, like there are product managers, especially in startup, and you're going to be the main point of contact and you're going to know everything, and you're like the sole point, like going to be the most responsible and more important person because you know everything. If you're not that person in a startup, or you're not that person in a company or in a team, you're not gonna be in a good position to even hold your job in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So product manager is just going to have to keep learning more skills in areas that they didn't have to learn skills in. With my biggest client right now, I've had to learn data analytics for marketing analytics, and I've been like bashing a bat over my head every day for 3 hours a day for the past 2 weeks. Actually, 3 weeks now, figuring it out. I'm figuring it out, but oh my God, they're called like SCAD networks. These analytics, these like advertising networks that exist that you never see that are super complex. Ah, I hate it so much. But I'm learning it. So that's just another example of something that you have to learn because I came home as a product manager, not as an analytics person at all, but to the client's eyes, to the business eyes, it's like you're the person that figures things out, so go figure this out. I'm like, you have a point. I have to go
Yeah.
figure it out, or else I'm not valuable.
Yeah. That's you as if you're not like if you're a product manager in a startup and that's not your position, and you're not the go figure yourself out, then you are in like you're always in a chopping block, I think. But that's how you
Yeah.
hold into that job and that role, is to always be that person.
Yeah, I think you said it right that it would be like the startup levels and any like smaller businesses above that where the product managers that don't want to build more skills and learn AI and other things and other disciplines, they're going to be gone first. But it's not going to be too much longer after that until it works its way up the corporate ladder and goes after the bigger companies that are more structured. The reasons that they'll be the last ones to take over is because of data privacy. They're not going to trust their data to flow through like Lovable, a platform like that. But what if there is a company like ChatGPT already has this where you can get your own version of ChatGPT and you could put it on your own servers, and therefore all the data that interfaces with ChatGPT is only on your servers. You just took a copy of their model and you put on your servers. That's it. Therefore, it's okay. It checks all the boxes for data privacy, right? So there's going to be something like that for Lovable. It's just a matter of time. They're going to bring it out on the enterprise level. It's going to be like, think about like Salesforce, like the CRM. It's going to be like a giant CRM, Salesforce level only for enterprise. And so I don't know which company is going to do it first, if it's going to be Lovable or Replit, but one of them are going to do it. And when that happens, well, then the product manager's job is numbered unless they learn how to do this stuff. I'm sure they will. It's not too hard to do it, to be honest.
Where do you start?
Yeah, good question. I mean, you start with your own little side project. You have your own problem. Maybe you want to create like a calculator, just an online calculator, or maybe you want to create like a time tracking app, like a Pomodoro clock or something like that. And you just start, you get Lovable. It's free. You get like I think it's like 5 prompts per day, and then it resets. And you think, well, how would I tell the AI to build this thing that I want? That's how you start. And then over time, you get better. You realize, oh, okay, my prompts suck. I need to get better at prompting. I need to get better at defining the solution or the problem that I have. And then you realize, oh, I can do things like a PRD. I can give it an entire PRD. Like you can give Lovable an entire PRD and just say build it, and it will do it. And
That's how we won the AI startup. It's like we
yeah,
used Gemini to figure out this problem and talk to Gemini and ChatGPT continuously like feed that sort of prompt with them, and then eventually
exactly.
create that PRD and then just put it to Lovable. And Gemini does the same thing actually. They code now as well.
Yep. Yep.
There's,
I
there's so
saw
many
ChatGPT's doing it now. Yeah, they're all coding. Yeah. So
people doing
now
it.
they're competing with Lovable. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, this is intense, yeah. I kind of like it, but
When you say the data privacy, do you mean like when you say an enterprise level lovable, are you thinking like it's internal? So it's
Yeah.
an internal lovable system, so it's
Yep.
not accessible by other companies, right? So that's kind of
Correct.
like the next. Yeah.
and it will have like a ton of data connectors. So it will be able to
Yeah.
connect with like all of these internal systems with this big company. Like that's what what's it called? Well, that's what that company is big for. I'm blanking on the name. Salesforce. That's what Salesforce is like known for. It has all of these connectors. So, and it has
Mhm.
so many integrations. So it's just, yeah, it's just a matter of time until a lovable enterprise level comes out and has a ton of connectors and it's built just for a big company, and it can do other things too. Like I think Lovable just launched this recently. It's like they're calling it multiplayer. Basically, you can get two people in, like two or three people, like a team of people. Think about like a Miro board or a Figma Jam, where you have like multiple people's mouses moving around and people are prompting and people are moving
Yeah.
boxes around. You can do the same thing, but within Lovable now. So
Really? Gosh.
yeah, so it'd be really good for ideation. So instead of like the future ideation calls with stakeholders, instead of talking about ideas, it will be building ideas together.
Damn.
Exciting, actually.
So what
I think so.
what do you think people are gonna do when like when they can't find a job?
I mean, it's like every technical revolution, new jobs come out, people reskill, they learn to do this stuff. Like for example, the dot-com bubble came out. Everyone had to learn how to, every business had to get a website. So there's a gold rush for website builders. And then SEO came out after that. Everyone had to learn SEO, right? And then the mobile apps came out after that. And then everyone had to get an app and everyone had to learn how to use apps or just the basics of apps. And now it's
Mhm.
AI. So there's going to be new jobs that are going to come out to service the AI, to maintain the AI systems, to, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but there will be new jobs for the AI jobs.
I was literally just talking about this with someone who was in the film industry, and they're talking about, well, we have to keep like everybody, the creative is scared of AI, but we want to embrace it. And one of the biggest skills, from their perspective, and I think for everyone, is knowing how to prompt the AI, like how to even talk to it. Like I think that's a skill on its own at this point, because that's how it's going to output you what you actually need, because it's never going to be perfect. So that like when we were just talking about the PRD, I think if someone who doesn't have any product management background, don't know how to build a PRD or let's say product requirements document or any of that user requirements, then they're gonna have a more maybe like a more generic app versus someone who has a PRD that probably can build a more robust app in one go. My interest with it is because I was talking to my engineer friend, and he basically hates Lovable. He hates a lot of these. He hates them. Like he finds them like he thinks that they're just so hard to work with as an engineer because they're not actually they give out good, but it's really hard to maintain from an engineering point of view because they don't actually properly code in a way that makes it easier for the holders or like the Gits to kind of
Yeah,
be
it's like
maintained by bigger
bloat
teams.
coding. Basically,
Yeah,
you ask it to add a button, and instead of adding just the button, it will add like it will change something here. It will add like a button behind a page on another page somewhere else. It sometimes hallucinates. It just does random
yeah.
stuff, and it just bloats the code. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's gonna be
But
lit.
still, there's ways to deal with that though. Like if you get really good at prompting, you give very specific prompts, and you tell it in the
Mhm.
prompt to only do this, it will only do that. But it also depends on the model that you're using too. A lot of these tools, you can, not a lot of them, but some of them you can choose which model to use. And for example, Claude 3.5, 3.7, that's like the gold standard for writing code. That's what it was like 2 months ago. I'm sure now it's something different. but because it's moving so fast. But you can experiment with the different models and you can see how the code output is done. But yeah, because I've talked to developers that said the same thing that what your developer friend said, and I've talked to other developers and they haven't written a single line of code in like 6 months. They're like, yeah, we just figured out a prompt, we figured out the workflow, haven't written a single line of code anymore. Yeah,
That's insane, eh?
yeah.
This shit is gonna put so many people out of business. I'm like, I don't know. I sometimes like when I'll see these posts and like I'll feel bad for people because like they're like visibly going through a tough time. And then sometimes I'll see people that are very entitled. That's just like, but why? And I just feel like you should get your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your milk and cookies money completely taken away from you. Uh, but like, yeah, it's not gonna stop. I was like, yeah, this one lady was screaming at me, and she was like, "But why?" And I was like, "It's about the money." Like, yo, man, it's like, I mean,
Wait, this is an interesting story, but I just want to jump in and say something. A lot of people think that AI is going to take their job. And it's not AI that's going to take their job. It's the person that knows how to use AI that's going to take their job.
oh, thanks, Jensen
So
Huang number two.
exactly, yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
agree with
dude.
I think I think one of the investors were saying like, well, Lovable, this is barely a year. If you've used it a year, you're basically the expert at this point because there's not a lot of experts in this field because it's forever changing and it's so new that anyone can actually be an expert right now if they just invest in today with how insanely new it is. So there really isn't any sort of excuse in some way for these people if they want to continue making money, if they want to continue being in a role that gives them 6 figures or more.
Yeah. I guess the top performing or the high performing product managers, the ones that can actually predict trends well, they will understand this and they will spend their weekends or a lot of their leisure time reskilling, upskilling and learning these skills and experimenting and they'll get ahead. And
Yeah,
then there'll be the other ones that don't and they
we
won't.
we just launched an AI product management curriculum. So we brought in like a Columbia master's grad. So she went to Columbia, like her company had funded her graduate education. And so she got like a master's essentially in AI and ML from Columbia University. That's where she got her computer science degree from. And for years, I've actually been telling people that like AI is just so freaking new that, and a lot of companies have been, as always, very slow to adopt because it's just like you can't just roll over. It's like, all right, AI is like, okay, so you know, now so what I've been telling people is take the problems that you're going through on a day-to-day basis and like Alex Hormozy challenged his team, like I will pay you guys to find ways to automate your own job with AI. Like I want to pay you guys to go out there and completely remove yourself from the job, right? And what I freaking found out was like, like people don't want that. They want this like structured curriculum. But I was like, the market's moving so fast that like, but anyways, and it's been they want like this, and what I've been seeing so far is something very reminiscent to my parents taking a computer class of learning like what a floppy disk is, and this is Microsoft Word, and my mom going back to um like before General Assembly made boot camps cool, there was like this thing in America called ITT Tech and DeVry, um, which was freaking technical reskilling for old people, like the local community college. And I'm seeing these people that are in their 20s and their 30s, and it was just like it just reminded me so much of like when my parents were learning how to put a floppy disk in the computer, right? And I was like, when the White Walkers come out, you guys are not going to have. I was like, man, it's going to be sad, but I think right now there's a huge opportunity because the younger generation, which I've learned a lot from, they're just, I mean, they're treating freaking ChatGPT like somebody playing Call of Duty. And they're just
Treating it
like,
like their therapist.
right. And they're just learning it like over and over and over again and just trying to figure out ways to get better. But yeah, they want this structured curriculum, like this is a prompt. So this is the body of a prompt. Like I want this is the context. Freaking a lot of people are going to be losing their homes and their jobs and their pensions.
Just wait
Uh,
until AI agents and N8N workflows becomes the next big thing that we all have to learn. That's much harder.
Isn't that already happening? People are already selling all the
Yeah,
NAA. Yeah.
yeah, they
Workflow
are.
and stuff.
It's funny because on LinkedIn you see people like be like, "This is how you write a prompt," and then like right after that post, you'd be like, "I just automated an entire outbound sales function." Like, like what a disparity in the learning. And both like posts are doing very well. Like they both have like, 1,000 likes or 1,000 comments, and people are like, "Wow, so inspirational or so insightful." It just shows you the different cohorts with the learnings. Some people are just starting to dip their toes in to the AI world and just learning prompts. Meanwhile, other people are fully automating entire teams and building companies with complete automation. And so there's just a few people running a company.
so you said like thousands of comments, right? So we're talking about like I don't know, dropping a LinkedIn post and it's getting like thousands of comments.
Yeah, those posts, I don't know, you've probably seen them, but it's like it shows the N8N workflow. And it says, I just automated something, that generates, I don't know, reels completely automated
Mhm.
by looking at Reddit posts, or it's like I automated outbound emails functions completely, or I automated chat responses basically. Drop a comment, connect with me, or some of them even say like repost, and I'll give you this N8N workflow. And then what happens is if you get the workflow, you have to do a lot of work to get it working. It's not easy to get it working, it's a lot of work. But I've been participating in this because I'm like, man, I need to learn this stuff. Like I have to. This is the next gold mine, gold rush after just AI in general. It's like making the AIs work together and making like a whole system, multiple systems work together.
Freaking A. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh. So if I wanted like a use case where, every single post that I make on LinkedIn, every single post I drop on LinkedIn, I wanted it also as a post on YouTube. Is that possible?
absolutely.
What would it
You
take to
could,
get there?
you said you want it as a post on YouTube, so you want like a video of it?
No, like every single post that I make on LinkedIn, right? So every post that I'm just like every social post that I make on LinkedIn, I want that as a social post on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's actually pretty straightforward because that's just copying content and, posting it onto a different platform. That's actually really straightforward.
Would you have to
What's the
transform that post in like if it's a written post, can you would you have to regenerate that into a video? An
No,
AI
he said
generated video?
Yeah,
he
I
said
just
it's a
wanted
Or
written
to
post.
post.
just
Yeah.
just a written post and then just put it into something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rich, that's easy because there's been people
That's
dropping workflows basically being like they'll take like an X what's it called, an X thread, And you know how like people on X they write those really long threads, kind of like a story, and people are taking that, converting that into YouTube videos, like faceless YouTube videos, and it's completely automated.
How are they doing that?
Yeah.
That's what I
It's a
was
lot.
thinking about. Was just like it's auto generated from just text, and then they just put the
Yeah.
the photos, the
Yeah.
AI generated images with the voice,
So
and it's
there's YouTube
faceless.
videos. There's YouTube videos that teach us. Maybe this is for people that are listening and they want to actually learn this stuff, even just learn basic AI. The best place to start is just YouTube tutorials. Like YouTube's really taken off for learning this stuff because you just watch other people who have built one of these things, and they just walk you through how they did it. And a lot of the times they will even provide uh, the file that they used. So you can take the same file and plug it into your system and, follow them as they go through the steps and, be like, click this button. So, okay, I click this button, input this text. Oh, okay, I input this text here. So it's like copy and paste. And that those are the best tutorials because if you don't know anything, like you just need to follow somebody tell you exactly what to do. And a lot of these videos have that. There's other videos where they expect that you know what you're doing, so they'll glance over very key steps, and then you're kind of scratching your head and spending like an hour trying to figure out how data got from here to here magically, because it's never magic. So yeah. But YouTube has kind of turned into this golden resource because AI is great. AI is only good at answering questions if it has all the context. And you can give it a lot of context. You can give it screenshots. You can, I don't know, say, look at this URL, look at this screenshot, look at this PDF. But sometimes that's not enough context. So when it's coming to learning this stuff, like YouTube is really good because it's nice watching somebody too. People are lazy. They want to watch somebody.
Damn. Damn, 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 damn. Well, I have nothing else to say. I'm like ready. I spend about I try to spend about like an hour and a half like learning AI every single day. I try. But I feel like I don't feel like I'm like as ahead of like everybody. But I don't feel like I'm like that behind either, just because like I'm like chipping away at it.
There's no way you can be left behind if you're actually using it at this point because it's so new and it's evolving so quickly. So it's even for people who are like, I mean, John, do you find that you're so ahead of it now? Even like because you know so much about it, but it's just changing so rapidly. And even if you're trying to learn every day, it's kind of it's it's kind of hard to say if you're an expert or not. I don't know. Like it's really hard to say how to evaluate how expert you are with AI at this moment when everything's rapidly changing.
Yeah, that's the problem with AI. It's just it moves too fast. And but honestly, you just have to keep up with it. And that's the future that we're all gonna have to work with. We're always gonna have to work with a changing environment. Like, oh, another model came out, we gotta go test it. Or, ooh, and added this new node that can do these new functions. Ooh, let's go test it. That's going to be the future because I guess there's going to be companies too where they don't just expect you to know how to build stuff in Lovable, for example. They're going to want you to build stuff in N8N, and they're going to want you to automate your emails, the emails that come in. They're going to want you to automate, I don't know, how they're labeled, how they're replied, automate if it's junk or not, automate, I don't know. There's the sky's the limit with the stuff that you can automate with what you can build within a company. I guess a really good use case is building like a knowledge base system that everybody can interface and chat with, and it has like everyone's information. Not everyone. It has like all of the company's like internal documents, and because like how much time people spend trying to look within documents to find like an information that they need, like some type of policy or some type of product information or product spec or whatever with a reg system. which is, I just looked it up. It's called retrieval augmented generation. You should know this. Not like a reg like this, but like yeah, so that's a term that we're all gonna know, but right now only a few of us know. A reg basically means you're telling AI to look within multiple documents and to find something very specific. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. It can do that with a reg system. And so that's going to be a huge thing that pretty much all companies are going to have in the future. It's going to have a reg system. So yeah, that's one thing. That's just one use case that I guess an AI product manager that knows automation, that knows how to build a reg, that's some value that they would bring to a small, medium-sized company. They're like, oh yeah, I can set this up for you, no problem. Here's the drive. Put all of your documents in the drive. Here's the chat interface. Chat with it. There you go.
Dude, this is gonna be freaking lit. It's gonna be a total massacre out there. Um, oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I just to put this in perspective how fast this is blowing up, I saw a guy on LinkedIn. He had like 20,000 followers. That's what I saw in the morning. By he posted something like an N8N workflow, it went viral. I was one of the first people to comment it. I'm like, yeah, I want it. I want it. It was one of those things where you comment this and you do this other action, you'll give it to you. By the end of the day, he was at 24,000 followers. So he had 4,000 connection requests in one day. Not even a full 24 hours, maybe like 12 hours.
Yeah, 4,000 connection requests.
Yeah,
Why?
because of this post.
Show me the
Because in the
posts.
Yeah, I will show you the post. Yeah. It's like the dude just went viral from it. And I mean, you can't even send that many messages per day. Like, I'm pretty sure LinkedIn limits you on the amount of messages, the amount of comments that you can respond to. You're limited.
4,000?
Yeah. Yeah. This guy named Giles. Let me show you. Hang on.
Show me who is this person.
But I've seen he's at 25,000 now. So I've seen a bunch of people like this. Okay, so here it is. If you can see it.
Game blurred.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me turn off the blur. There you go. So this is the guy. If you
Okay,
can
just
see.
hold it there. Giles. What's his name? Mosaud?
Yeah, Mosau. Moussaoui. And this post has 2,000 likes, 2,000 comments. See. And so he got like well over 2,000 connection requests just in one day from this post. This was yesterday.
Giles. How do you spell his last name again?
Moussaoui. But there's a lot of LinkedIn creators that are doing this stuff that are just blowing up super fast. Like I would find an account with maybe 1,000 followers, and then like a month later, that 20,000. It's crazy how much this is blowing up right now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's found his market, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, good
Are
for him.
you
Oh,
doing, is this what you're doing personally from your perspective? Like you're in LinkedIn? Like you share more of it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm attempting to grow my LinkedIn. Yeah, so I've been studying these people.
Why not? It's a good idea.
The
what is
demand
this?
is just crazy.
Hang on. What is this? Hang on. I'm in the SDR business too. What is this workflow? I'm looking at like
I
alien
got that.
technology here. Huh?
I built that workflow, a very similar one. Still getting it working, but it's like 90% working.
NAN. Oh my gosh. like looking at this shit like it's freaking hieroglyphics.
Like it's a gold
Yo,
brick that says free on it.
was that?
Like you're looking at it like it's a gold brick that and somebody wrote free on it. You're like, why? I want it.
Oh my gosh. This is holy moly. Holy
To
moly.
get a workflow like that working, it's not easy. It's gonna take a long time to get that working. But once you got it working,
That
yeah.
workflow that he has is pretty complicated. It has like multiple levels to like swim lanes from what it looks like. The one
Yeah,
he posted.
that's right. Yeah.
This was, oh my gosh. All right. I got some serious work to go ahead and do. John, this is what you do
I'm doing this now.
to replace a whole outbound SDR team.
Yeah, I've
Mm.
built that workflow, but the difference is with mine is that you already have the list of emails. I have another workflow that gets you the list of emails. So in theory, I could just put those two workflows together and be fully automated. I have the one that
Yo,
gets you the email list working. It works really well. It's really cool.
here's eight. Here's what 847 lines of NAN automation actually looks like. The full pipeline. Webhook captures the submissions. Hunter.io validates the email in real time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun.
You want to help me launch an AI school in Korea and become an
Do it.
honorary Korean citizen? Because they
Excuse
they would worship you out
See,
here.
instead of you going to
if it,
South America, you go to Korea now. You have
if
like
it
that
prints money, if
opportunity.
it
Yeah.
prints money, I go where it prints money.
This is
All right,
spoken like a
guys.
true
See you
capitalist.
guys
See you,
Yeah.
next week.
Paula.
See you, Paula.
Yeah.
Y- Yo, John, let's hang out for a little bit here.
Sure.
This guy here just printed out a freaking. Hang on.
Yeah, you printed a shit ton. He got lucky, man. Good for
He
him.
did it. He's been dropping content like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a matter of time till one of them blows up, and that one blew up.
Holy
So
moly.
I know you're recording, but keep this off the record. I hired
Hang on.